I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do.
Just what to do, just what to do.
If what you're feeling is really true.
Is really true, is it really true?
Just keep your ideas safe and sound.
Safe and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is found, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petitos taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geri Petito Show on Hamilton Radio. Yes, we are in our new studio. How cool is this? And this is my first show here. So, guys, anyone and everyone out there who knows me knows I am the author of I'm Not an Addict, I'm Just an Ass. I'd rather be a smart ass than a dumbass, guys, because 31 years ago, I was a dumbass. But today, through the grace of God, 31 years later, I can honestly say now, I'm a smart ass. And yes, the word ass is in the Bible at least 40 times. It means donkey, and that's what I was. Guys, we have to start looking at addiction differently. Everyone out there has to know, number one, that there's someone they can reach out to, that they can talk to. I'm a recovery coach. I'm a nutritional health coach. All my services to you are free. Please reach out. The other thing is this. This book can help save lives, okay? If you truly, truly, truly cannot afford this book, please reach out to me about that as well. You can buy it through Simon & Schuster's, New Bookstore, Archway Publishing. But here's the thing. I want everyone out there to understand you are not powerless. Don't believe the lies. You are not powerless over anything, okay? Especially with God on your side. So having said that, I want to give a shout out to a couple sponsors. One of them is Fire Team Designs. They do all my crazy new t-shirts, my mugs, everything. They're incredible. They've now become good friends of mine, and the two young hubbies were in the service. That's why it's called Fire Team Design. So if you want to do anything, they will customize anything and everything for your liking. I also want to give a shout out to another sponsor, Lead East. Okay, but we're going to have someone here talking in detail about Lead East, okay? Having said that, I want to introduce today my guest co-host, Tony Dean. Say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much. I just want to thank my favorite. You guys know that we're like best buddies here. The Jersey Jewel, Geri Petito. Thanks for having me in my home state of New Jersey. I love anytime I can hang out with you and Gene, Doc G, and my buddy Ruben. We go back a long time, right, Ruben? And it's great to be here. I want to thank you very much for having me down.
Tell everyone who you are, though.
Okay. I am a DJ on Doo-Wop Radio, also Crown Sounds Radio, and I just have a new podcast out, Coast to Coast, with my partner Eve Hart, and it's basically the podcast gets away from the heavy media stuff. We do light stories. We have a lot of fun, and we make fun of people, and just mostly we have a lot of laughs. So if you need a break from the heaviness of the world, tune into that. Look for it on Spotify, Coast to Coast, with Tony Dean and Eve Hart.
So at the far end there, okay, we have Jim Durkin, and he's going to tell us a little bit about himself, his memories, music, and Lead East. Go ahead, Jim. Take the mic.
Good afternoon, everybody. Geri, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
And we're looking for a spectacular year this year up at Lead East. We're celebrating our 40th anniversary. And we're coming out with a really, really great music lineup for Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights. And it would really be nice if we get a big showing this year. We get everybody up there because we've had COVID, we've had hurricane last year. It's nice. Hopefully we're going to have the weather. We're going to have everybody back up at Lead East, and we're going to party on because there's going to be music all weekend long.
Okay, so now I want to do the honors of introducing Jim. Thank you for all that. We're going to talk about that again. I want to do the honors, Tony, of introducing our legendary star guest. But then I'm going to have him introduce this gentleman to my left, okay?
Sure.
We'll start there. And you can also chime in about this guy,
Okay.
Guys, we're talking about a legend here, okay? Terry King from the Drifters. Hello, sweetheart.
Hello, Jerry. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so good.
Good. It's wonderful to be here. I just thought about, I did your last show
That's right.
at your other studio.
That's right.
Now here we are in your new studio, which is fabulous, I must say. And it's really good. It's
So
really
you
good.
closed me out of the last studio, and now you're opening this
I
one.
opened you up in your new one.
This is so amazing, guys.
This is fantastic. Unbelievable.
So we're going to talk a lot about the Drifters as well, but
And so,
why don't you please give him a proper introduction to who this gentleman is to my left.
well, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would like to introduce you to a young man that has been in my life, all my life. And he has come into being a drifter from birth.
That's right. Before birth.
And ladies and gentlemen, not only is he the son of a gentleman that I sang with for many, many, many years, and I'm proud to say he is now joined forces with me, none other than Charlie Happy Thomas Jr. Ladies and gentlemen,
Thank you very much, Uncle Terry.
you're quite welcome, young man.
Great. Nice to be here. Nice to meet you guys. I am Charlie Thomas Jr. And it's a blessing being here, like I said, and I'm going to definitely try with the rest of my life to continue my dad's legacy and so forth, you know. But being I'm just getting here, I would like to get some questions maybe or what have you.
Well, Junior, you're going to get questions, all right, but I have to say something first, because you're going to make me cry, okay?
Yeah.
Don't do that. Ay, ay, ay. So, your dad. I mean, not only did I love him, so did the whole world.
Right.
Okay. So you're also a legendary child.
Yes.
And here you are today carrying your father's legacy with your Uncle Terry. I mean, the both of you, right? This is amazing.
Yes.
I am so honored, and so is Hamilton Radio, to have you here in our studio,
Thank
and
you.
my first show here in our studio.
Thank you. Yeah.
But I want to say something between you and me, because my dad also passed away from Alzheimer's. So I feel your pain and understand it and know what you're going through. So I will keep you and your family in prayer, and I love you, and thank you for being here.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And I mean, it's, you know, it's emotional. You know, I'm a man as a man, but, you know.
Right. Well, your fans out there and your dad's fans want to see the real you, and they just did. Right,
Yeah.
guys? Tony Dean, take over, baby, for a few minutes.
All right. So, you know, I know that we want to make this, you know, partly about you as a performer in your own right, and you absolutely deserve to be here as well.
Right.
But, you know, we just have to, you know, I met your dad probably 3-4 times at shows behind, you know, backstage, and
Right.
talked to him, and we talked about it a little bit earlier.
Right, right.
And we consider it, and you'll see Nino in a little bit, we consider Charlie family.
Right.
Your family too. So
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, I
Yes,
just
sir.
have to say that because
Thank you very much.
he's a sweetheart of a guy, and just from meeting you here,
Yeah.
I can tell you are as well. So thank you very much for your dad and continuing his legacy.
Yeah. Thank you for the invite, you guys.
Jim, would you like to say something?
You know, I'm humbled to be sitting here. I am a big-time Drifters fan. And right down to my telephone, when it rings up on the roof. But I'm going to take it back to Memorial Day weekend 2011, and we're going to the New Jersey Police Honor Legion presidential ball at the Birchwood Manor in Whippany. And as my girlfriend and I pulled in, the first person that was there was none other than your dad. He was there before I was, and he wasn't going on until later on that afternoon. So that showed me the level of professionalism that he was on the spot. And I know he's the leader, so he was checking everything out and making sure everything was right on the money.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And, you know, your dad's a legacy. Terry here, I mean, I'm flattered to be sharing the show with these guys and hang out and listen to this, and hopefully we're going to make a whole lot of music together in the near future.
Yes. With God's blessings, hopefully.
Yep.
Absolutely. You know?
Do you have any questions, Jim? Because you are one of the biggest Drifter fans that I know personally. Do you have any special heartwarming questions you would like to ask him about his dad?
I just wish him all the best, and we hope everything comes out positive.
I want to bring Ruben and Doc G. Come around just to come and say hi on camera, because these two guys are Hamilton Radio. Monk's not here. He's also an owner. So Doc G is the original. Come around. I want everybody to see you guys. Thank you. So Doc G, he is the original owner of Hamilton Radio. Tell everyone real quick how you started it.
I believe it was a whim and a promise to have my family, my daughters, learn the real music of the 50s and 60s. And I was just so tired of what they were listening to on the radio. And my wife would even tell you, I was looking for a way to bring my DJ experience and radio experience to, you know, to the masses. And then the internet came up and it says, you know, let's do internet radio. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. And 26 years later in June, I mean, it's amazing. It's like, what an amazing ride. The amazing people we met, you guys, I mean, Charlie, Terry, Jim, Tony, everybody that's here. I mean, what an amazing ride it's been, you know, like you said, same thing. And, you know, if I had to do it all over again, would I do it? I think I would in a heartbeat.
Well, we thank you for it, because I started with Hamilton Radio.
Remember,
and
she didn't want to do it.
That's right.
I had to coax her to do it.
Okay. DJ Danny, his daughter, interviewed me when my book first came out in 2016, and he said, we need to give you a spot. And I said, I don't know about that. And I prayed about it, and a month later, 2 months, I finally said yes, and here we are. Doc G, we thank you for Hamilton Radio.
Oh, you're welcome.
He started it in his basement, guys, okay? Started in his basement, yep.
Kudos, Doc. You kept the music alive.
Absolutely.
So now,
Somebody has to, right?
Absolutely. And that's what we're all here
Thank
for,
you,
and that's
Doc
what we're all
Shane.
about.
That's what it's all about.
so now, Ruben, take the mic. You know you like to take the mic. Come on. Go ahead. I can't take it. Tell everybody, come on. What great work you do for us. Seriously.
Okay. Well, as you guys probably know me, so you guys, I'm very humble what I do. I never say I'm an owner of Hamilton Radio or anything like that. I just introduce myself as that. You know, I guess some people say I should say it, but for me, I'm just humbled, you know, to meet with Gino. And believe it or not, me and Gino actually met at one of my films debuts that I did, my very first movie that I was producing. It was a long haul for that film. But that's when I met Gino. His eldest daughter came to audition, you know, for this movie. Oh gosh, was it 2000? Forgive me not. 2004, I think, right? 2004. That's when we met, when I was still working as IT media for the county government. So while we were having auditions, Gino came in and he told me about the internet radio at that time, and I actually never heard of internet radio. You know, I still remember playing. What's that? One of those first games that came out? You know, like in '96, in 2004, like Doom. That's where I was at. You know, YouTube was just coming out. I think Google just came around and stuff like that. So as time progressed, we did finish the film like 3 years later, because I did everything on a budget, and Gino kept asking me to join him for Hamilton Radio, and I was like, I don't know, internet radio. I mean, what is internet radio? I mean.
But you're young enough to. I mean, you're only in your 40s.
Yeah, but I didn't know.
Oh, okay.
I'm used to the compact disc, the CD player, and listen to the radio in the car. And he comes to me about the internet radio. I'm like, I just, how does it work? What do you do? I can't get it in my car. And at that time, we didn't even have phones like this, Remember those Star Trek style phones? You flip it like that. I was like, how do you listen to the internet, right? And I'm barely home, at that time. I'm not one of those people that stay home all the time. So anyway, fast forward. I gave up on filming for a while because.
Are you going to tell us this whole story?
Yeah. I'll take up your whole hour. I'm going to go back to 1978.
Wow.
That's what you get. That's what you get for telling him how old he is.
He's going to get the mic back for 2 minutes.
Jerry, that's what you get for telling everybody his age range.
He is behind the scenes at every one of my shows. This guy even accompanies me when I need him to come to shows. Okay, he loves the music.
She kidnaps me, actually.
He loves the music from back in the day. Okay, even though he's younger, and he really holds. He's the glue to Hamilton Radio anymore. All right?
Yeah, okay. Oh, thank you, Jerry.
You have 2 minutes.
I can have 2 minutes and 1 second.
No pressure, though. No pressure.
Anyway, just fast forward. Fall 2012. Actually, the summer of 2012 comes around. Gino asks me, I guess for the 10th time, can you join me with Hamilton Radio? And I was like, all right, I'll do it. It only took like 8 years to ask me, but I finally did it. So. And I think some guys were going to help us get a space if I helped them out. So I had everything out there. I mean, I had looked like we were filming a whole movie. I had the lights, I had cameras and broadcasting stuff. I had like the whole thing. Somebody asked me if I robbed CNN or something like that when I had all the stuff out there. So anyway, so after that, by the fall of 2012, I believe, right? Fall 2012. Yes. We got our first space, and before we had all this here, all this, we had like a small gateway computer and a little tiny, the computer microphones and the little tiny speakers, and the guest host had to share the little microphone back and forth, just like this one. So, thank you for calling. I think it was Rockin, right? And then they had to pass the mic. And a few months later, we were able to get these microphones here, and then we just grew everything over time. It was just a little tiny desk with a gateway computer. That's how we started.
And here we are.
And here we are to this day. And,
Still growing.
And Jerry's been very helpful on the backbone of my backbone.
So now he's working with Terry King. Imagine that.
Right.
All right. So let's give them a hand.
Oh, yeah.
All right, now get out.
Terry, don't worry. I won't bring her to the set.
Back to the show, guys.
Back to the Rubin show. Okay. No, it's like
What a mistake that was.
So this guy right here, Tony Dean. Okay, not only do I love this guy, he's a buddy of mine, but he wanted to take over today's show. So I'm going to let you really kind of do that. I'm going to let you kind of take over a little bit here today. So why don't you introduce your buddy and have him come and sit down for a few minutes?
All right. Anybody who is familiar with the Tony Dean world is familiar with this next gentleman. We're going to have him come up, and he's got some history. We're talking about the oldies. We're talking about the doo-wops, and we're talking about recorded music. This gentleman was definitely a part of this back in the day. And I'd like to introduce Nino of the Web Chords.
Woo!
Oh, no mic. He doesn't have a mic.
He doesn't have a mic, Ruben.
I mean, he's got a mic, but he's got no cable.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. All right,
Thanks,
we'll try
Charlie.
this right here.
It's all right.
Remember passing that microphone? There it is.
Okay.
That figures. You know what I mean?
Figure.
For me. No, that's
Oh, he's plugging you in, baby. He's plugging you in.
There we go.
It's like passing a joint.
Good thing that's legal to say.
Yeah, really.
It's legal to say, right?
All right. All right. So tell us a little bit about this guy.
All right, so this is a gentleman up my way in northern New Jersey. When he was a teenager, he was part of a group, four guys that rehearsed very hard, called themselves the Web Chords. And I'm going to let him give you the details of how they got picked up for recording and who they actually recorded with. But he had his moment, and he'll tell you, he'll give you the quick and dirty on how it ended as well.
I think you're good. There you go.
We'll do that. Well, it never ends. Number one, it never ends. This will go on forever. But I'll tell you, it was an interesting story. I met a kid that was in my homeroom, and he was from Staten Island, and he sang with the Elegants before they were the Elegants. And his name was Joey Connors, who has passed on since. And he had a friend who was from Brooklyn. His name was Dominic Pandisha. And this guy was a genius. Nicest guy in the world, sweetheart, and probably, I'm going to tell you the truth, and I love Johnny Maestro, I love them all. Dominic was the best vocalist I've ever seen, male vocalist I've ever seen. Now, with that, I met Joey, and we started talking one day. He says, anybody does anything, do anything with doo-wops and that? I says, well, I have a friend of mine, Tommy Champion. Tommy Champion was a guy who lived in Victory Gardens, who was a good friend of mine. I says, he can sing. He's got a nice high voice, I says. And I could do baritone, bass, I says. He says, well, why don't we get together? So we get together. So we join. First thing Dominic said to me was, listen, this is serious. And if you don't have the ring, you don't have a thing. So I said, wow, where does that come from? He says, you'll see as time goes on. So anyhow, let's cut it a little bit shorter. They'll get the hook on me, but especially Tony. Okay, so we start practicing. We practice every single night. Now, they moved up from the city, but their parents were very strict. So we couldn't like share the places that we practiced. But Tommy and I, we lived in Pumpkinville up here in the country, and they moved up to Lake Apacon where they used to vacation, and then he bought the homes. So we used to hitchhike up there, walk up there every single day, every single night, and practice for 3 solid years till we could almost do any song or anything that could be done. And you'd walk down the street, just start singing, we just blast harmonies like there was nothing at all. Most importantly, the guy Dominic was really the heart of the group. He wasn't the lead singer. Joey was the lead singer. But this man could take 3 guys and make you sound like 5 guys. He hit the sharps, flats, underneath, over top. He'd go under me, over me, and then over the falsetto. And the way he did it was just phenomenal. God gave him a gift. And so we developed. So we went to New York. We decided now we're going to New York, and we're gonna try to make the big time. We didn't sing under the lights, anywhere. We sang in a cellar for 3 years. So we go to New York. We did 19 interviews. 19, went all the way up and down Broadway. And we went to RCA, we went to Laurie, we went to... The only record company that listened to our songs and listened to us that didn't want to take us was Laurie. They had Dion and the Belmonts at the time. They liked us, but they said, well, we got Dion. So, all right, so they didn't like us. So we go back and we're ready to take a bus home. We're sitting on that little square in Times Square, feeding the pigeons. And Joey, he was a little nuts anyhow, but he's reading the paper. He said, oh, look at this Don Kershaw. He's quite a guy, this, that, and the other thing. He says to me, I says, well, he's such a big shot. Why didn't we go there? He said, oh, gee, you're never going to get in there. I says, Joey, we come here 3 years later, and you don't want to go to the biggest guy in the show business? Let's go. He says, you're never going to get in. I says, Joey, let's go. Where is he? It's all the way up the other end by Central Park, 1650 Broadway. Aldrin Music was the name of the place. So there we go. We walked all the way up. I says, I'll get us in. So, I mean, I got to screw loose a little bit too. How am I going to do this while I'm walking up there? I says, you know what? We had to name the web chords. It was a famous record player at the time. I says, you watch. Now we're going to be actors. Walked in the door. The secretary was there. Put my hands on the table. I said to him, I says, is Donnie in, please? Like I was about something.
Yeah, she said Donnie.
Donnie. Yeah, I swear to God. I says, is Donnie in, please? Just like that. She said, oh, yes. Who should I say is calling? As she got up. Tell him it's the web chords. So she runs in there like she's bringing somebody to Donnie. He comes walking out. I swear to you, when I tell you, he comes walking around the corner like he's going to meet somebody he didn't, that he was waiting to meet. He looks at me. Here I'm standing. I just gave him the hands like this. He says, oh, he says, okay, guys. He says, okay. He says, you got me. He says, listen to me. I'm going to give you my word. He says, you take your demo, you put it right on that pile there. He says, right there to the secretary, and I promise you I will listen to it tonight. I says, Donnie, I says, do me a favor. 2 bars in your office, a cappella right now. If you don't like us, point to the door. He says, he tilted his head, he says, all right. And he waves his hand, we go in. So we just started singing. He put his finger up. Wait a minute. He goes over and he gets his partner, Al Nevins. It was Nevins and Kirshner.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah, no, this is the real deal. So he comes in. He says, that's it. You guys are not leaving the office. That was really the time of my life. That was the most. So he says, call your father. Get him down here. Get your lawyers down here. We're going to sign you. Whoa, I had to figure we're big time. Meantime, Neil Sedaka's over there with his father. My father comes down. He meets Neil Sedaka's father. You know, they're talking and so on and so forth. They're looking over the papers. He says, I want you to share tomorrow. We're going to have you work with Barry Mann. He says, that's the office right next to mine. Now, everybody else, now you got to remember, he had guys just like the Tokens before they were the Tokens. He had Neil Sedaka, Bobby Darin, Connie Francis, all of them. They were great. And they were the only ones in 1650. The rest were in the Brill Building. We were a writer. We got contracts as writers and singers. So what happened was, we got, we didn't go to the Brill Building, but we were what they thought were the elites upstairs anyhow. But so I was myself and the web chord, we were in the office next to Don Kirshner. Matter of fact, the piano that they have in the Brill Building, the Brill Building, was a piano we sat on and wrote Footsteps on. It was funny. We wrote the song Footsteps. That was one of the songs that Barry and it was a co-writer in that. And so we did a lot of work. We did a lot of work, did a lot of demos for people, did a lot of, work. We would walk in, do a song once, and leave. And they loved that because what happened was they didn't spend any time for money. We walked in, had a set fee. We didn't want royalties. We didn't take anything like that. Didn't care about our names because we felt as though we were going to make it.
Give us the big album and the song.
Yeah, who put the bomb? I was the bass in that. I was man.
Wait, listen. When you do bass, you're supposed to have like a raspy voice, right?
Yeah.
So give us a bump.
Bomb.
Come on.
Bomb. Oh. And besides that, I'm hoarse right now. I can't.
I know, but we don't care.
I've worked him a little hard this weekend.
We don't care. Just give us who put the bomb.
Tony Dean's the worst boss you can have. He's got me crazy. He thinks I could go.
Come on, give us who put the bomb. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, please.
No, he did. It's all he's got. That's
One
all he's got in
line?
the tank.
What do you want?
One line. Who put the bomb in the bomb? Come on.
But he didn't sing the. He didn't
It
sing the
doesn't
lead.
matter. I don't care.
I'd like to thank the guy who wrote the song. You know, that's the way it
That's
goes.
good.
But,
All right.
honey,
Oh,
it's-
wow. You did it, though.
No, I didn't do it.
Listen,
That's a
for
joke.
me,
That's
no,
a
it's
joke.
not a joke.
All right. Yeah, all right.
That was great.
I'd
So-
rather go to
So not that we
the
want to make
girl I love.
not that we want to make this a promo for the Barry Mann Who Put the Bomb album.
No,
but
it's
if you
not.
know it, it's
I
an
know.
amazing album.
It is an album.
Not
We
only
did-
that song,
Happy Birthday, Broken Heart was a song. That's a nice song. That's a
you
beautiful
really want to
song.
hear the essence of what he's talking about, their
Harmony,
harmony.
yeah.
Happy Birthday, Broken Heart on the Barry
Yeah,
Mann album.
especially in the bridge.
Unbelievable.
When they go to the bridge, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It really is beautiful. But now, again, I mean, believe me, I'm just a guy in the group, okay? Like, Joey was a very good lead singer. There's no question about it. But Dominic was the singer of singers. I mean, it's just the way it is, you know, like it or not.
So let's go now to
Humble.
when
Well,
you were going to get your shot. What happened?
Well, everybody's getting a shot. There's always something. What usually happens is a girl, isn't it? And let me just tell you what happens. And thank God, though, that at least they got married and have 5 kids. But what happened was we were on our way to some really big stuff. So what happened is we made Happy Birthday, Broken Heart, and then we were supposed to have, I'm not going to mention the songs because I get sick every time I think of it. But anyhow, that was our B-side. That was going to be the B-side. So we had already done that. So we're supposed to report on a Thursday. I get a phone call on a Tuesday.
This was just to set this up. This was going to be them recording under the web cords. They were going to record a record.
all our stuff, you know. In other words, we did
Just
all,
themselves.
we did the albums, we did a lot of stuff. I worked with everybody. I loved it, you know. But anyhow, so what happens is, I had a girlfriend at the time. Now, in the meantime, Don Kirshner was no small potatoes. He was taking us out of school. He was going to, school us, tutors, all that stuff. He wanted to see how we did first before he put us out there as an opening act for whoever it be, Neil Sedaka, Bobby Darin, whatever. Matter of fact, we were invited to Bobby Darin's wedding when he married Sandra Dee. But anyhow, what happened was we turned around and I had a girlfriend, Italian girl. I have sisters, I wanted to let her off the hook. We're going steady. I says, look, I'm going away. You're not going to see us. I'm not going to be in a school no more, nothing, I says, we can be friends, and if it's good, it'll happen, like a jerk. But anyhow, so in the meeting, no, like a jerk. Believe me when I tell you. So, but I did. So in the meantime, she goes crying on my buddy Dominic's shoulder, who also he's passed now too. He's gone too. But anyhow, so he goes, and they fall for each other. You know what I mean? So this is in between the signing of the contracts and so on and so forth. So he calls me up. He says, I got to tell you. He says, I'm in love with Marianne. She don't want me to go out, this, that, and that. Dominic, how can you do this, buddy? He says, I gave you everything I have. He says, you're knowledgeable now too. He says, you got there. I says, we'll never get the sound again.
So then if he ends up leaving the group.
So he ends up.
But
wait, the Tuesday before the Thursday, we were supposed to record a song that became a national. But I'm like, again, I'm not going to say the song
ahead,
because
you
Say
can
the
say
name
it.
of
I'm
that
not going to
song.
say. I'm not.
All
gonna
right,
say it.
I can say it. You want me
No,
to say it?
I don't want to
You
say
me to
anything. No, because that's not. I'm not.
All right.
I'm not about that.
So
anyhow,
make a long story short.
Long story short.
That ends up that.
so
gone for you.
that ends that. We tried other people. We tried everything. Could never get it the way it was. It just could never get it the way it was, and then we went on to do other things.
And you know what? You got closer than most people.
Well, I know. I know my
you know-
will be there quite a while.
Yeah,
Anyhow, if
so-
nothing else, that and the backgrounds to a lot of the songs on the album. We did a lot of backgrounds on it.
So thanks a lot for coming down and hanging out with us.
Well, listen,
This is amazing.
I'm very.
you.
The only thing is, you worked me a little hard. I got no voice at all here
That's all right.
tonight. You're
Give him a
killing
hand,
me.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you all. And let me tell you something. I only met you the last show, Jerry. And let me tell you something. You're a sweetheart. I fell in love with you right from the. I told that to Tony. Matter of fact, you came on the website for as a friend, and Tony, told me all that, and I tell you, I appreciate it very much. You're an excellent at your trade.
Thank you.
And a hell of a person.
I was born too late, honey. Hubba hubba.
Take that.
Thank you.
I was born too late too. Look at this guy next to me.
Thanks, Nino.
They bring
Thank you, sweetheart.
You know what I mean?
Amazing.
All right,
Yes.
bye-bye. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we have someone else we're going to be bringing up in a few minutes, but let's get back now to the Drifters. So Terry, you guys take the mics. I want to hear everything that's going on and what you guys are doing together. Tell the
All right,
world.
So, right now we're in rehearsals and waiting for some agencies to book us so we can get out there and do what we do. And we got finished doing one song because Happy's not only a singer, but his place in music, he's also a rapper. So, and
Yes, we know, and he's going to keep it clean. He could rap for me anytime, honey.
Yeah, and no, so we're in the studio. In fact, we are getting ready. There's a couple songs we're getting ready to redo from the Drifters collection.
Right.
And we are also going to do, and then we have one now that's a new song that we collaborated on, and it's called Jacuzzi Lover, by the way. So we redid that, and right now it's going to be just like a lot of hard work to rehearse. Happy's done some work already, taking over his father's place.
Yeah, it's not that easy.
and right, and so now we decided that we were gonna, get together and start doing our Drifters, and we find that it's going to be good. Because of the pandemic, a lot of things have happened. After 2.5 years, you're ready to get back out there, and it seems like the work's not there. A lot of venues are not opening up. If they do get you on the calendar, you got to hope and pray that it stays open. Whether it's in the South, out West, overseas, we just don't know right now. So, but Hap has been very hard at work, doing it, rehearsing the material, and so that we can have the greatest show that we can put together, and especially, in honor of his father, and to really get out there and really do what we know how to do, is be performers and take it by the bullhorns and just keep on going,
So Terry, I know there's been a million different Drifter names, and I'm not going to get into the negative part of that because I really don't care. I love you guys and everybody, What is the name that you're actually going to go under with Happy, with all you guys together?
So one of the biggest problems was you could never go out and say the Drifters.
Right.
But because I have been with an original Drifter, I've spent more than 40 years with Charlie. Now I go under is Terry King's Drifters featuring Charlie Happy Thomas Jr.
Very nice. That
So
works.
this way, it doesn't matter if I snatch 3 guys or 2 guys and put them in the middle between he and I, that's the Drifters.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's a celebration of the music. Like I said, who cares about the negativity of it? People want to waste time on that.
But a lot of people right now, they want to know, whether or not. I just had one incident where somebody said, "Who's this Drifters?" you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, Terry King's been around a long time, just as long as Benny. Benny's family too, you know. But he's gone, as you well know. But now we have, and you know, we pray all the time about his dad, hoping. But you know, we know what it really is, and we know what's going on. And right now, you know, we just want to, you know, like get out there, do what we know how to do, and that's to perform, give the people what they want.
I want to say something real quick about you and the Drifters, because Bud Cardone, a friend of mine, has written now his 3rd book on rock and roll history.
Yes.
Okay. He knows everything, right? This
Right.
is his 3rd book, and he wrote the 3rd book because of me, because I said Elvis is not in your other 2. Now he's got 3 or 4 pages of Elvis, okay? Because it was the time frame, but I didn't care. You know what I mean?
Right.
And your name is in the book with the Drifters. And I sent you that page. I took a screenshot of it for you. So
Yeah.
Nice.
here we go,
Thank
guys. The Drifters.
Yes.
Very nice.
Thank you. So right now, like I said, you know, and by the way, his birthday's coming up.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. I can't sing, but
And we're
I would
going to
sing to you.
celebrate
May
that.
21st.
May 21st.
Ah, very
yeah.
cool.
And so
Can we say how God's blessed you, how old you are? Because come on, that's a beautiful
Again,
thing.
with-
That
Throwing
is
out the ages?
63.
Honey,
God
listen, God
Yeah.
blessed you with 63 beautiful years. That's how you got to look at it.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it, right?
I had
Yeah.
to take care of it. I looked up to, you know, my dad, uncle, and everybody else.
yeah,
And,
yeah. And he's,
you know, figured
yeah,
out to take care of the body and kept it moving.
that's
you know.
right. And he's been on the road with us quite a few
Yeah.
times. You know, we go out there and work, and Hap was right there with us. You know,
That's
so
why it's not really a surprise to me, you know, because I mean it's right next to my dad, listening, you know,
Right.
right next to, you know.
That's
just,
it.
you know,
Always there.
So it's not. I understand the questions that you're asking, Uncle Terry. You understand, but I was actually that close to my dad
Yeah.
yeah,
as well.
Right.
yeah.
You know, because he seen me since I was this big.
Oh yeah,
you know.
oh yeah.
He been around us. But yeah, most of all, it is what it is. And I'm just getting in where I fit in, you know, and everything he's saying is the truth. But I do a lot of, I'm a pioneer of hip hop also. I'm one of the guys that started hip hop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just did a song for the father of hip hop, who is Cool Herc and
Okay.
Coke Rock. So I just finished a song for them. But, you know,
Are you giving us any of it?
well, I have it on my phone if you want to hear it. But most of all, you know, me and Unc had the conversation. You know, other people, like the question you asked about the Drifters, the different. As far as I'm concerned, besides me and him, there really are no others. You know, it's like.
Oh, that's
you know,
beautiful.
the pass down.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, the pass down. You know, from
Oh.
right. I mean, and you know, anybody else can do what they want to do, but when you listen to the voices, you listen to the songs,
Right.
and how we take care,
Right.
can't nobody do it
Yeah. Yeah.
the same way. It's embedded. You know.
That's
what I'm
right.
saying?
Sure.
That's right.
So
You lived
Right.
it. It was in you all
yeah,
those
it's
years.
there. You know, I mean, naturally, you know, I'm in the house looking in the mirror, thinking about dad.
Plus, you've got Dad inside of you.
Right.
Stop,
That's right.
Yes,
man.
absolutely.
So, and that's a blessing given to me. You know, so
That's
this
right.
is why I made the connection. You know, basically with Unc. And if you see me, you know, I can't stop really thinking
Yeah,
about
he's you know,
Yeah.
his dad would always tell me, and the last time that Charlie and I performed, 2019, you know, then the whole pandemic thing happened, and he would always call me up, you know, hey, what you doing? You know, I need you. You know,
yeah.
all the time. I was never but a phone call away. You know, I'd come back in, I was doing my thing, but he would always tell me, he would always bless me. You know, one time I was at I was doing the Apollo with the Temps, and it was Eddie Kendricks, Dennis Edwards, we had Damon Harris, God rest his soul too, and I didn't even know we were going to be on the same show together, which was funny. And then he told the other guys that took my place, he said, see, I told you Terry King was one of the Temptations too. You know, but if he called me up, you know, to come back, I'm on 4 albums with him.
Right.
So it's like I'm an original member.
Yeah.
That's
You
right,
know,
baby.
so anybody that comes up and says, oh, who's Terry King? Well, you know, you got to know who I am. You know what I mean? And you're going to know who I am.
They're going to know who you are, baby.
You know, and so that's why, you know, even with Charlie Jr., I say, you know, we're going to do this. You know.
I mean, he didn't give me the name for nothing,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
That's it. That's it.
It's the history. You know?
It's the history. It's right there.
And my oldest son's name is Charlie Thomas.
Nice. Very
So beautiful.
There's 4 generations
It's 4 generations of
of
it.
Charlie Thomas.
Wow.
You know, so
Yeah,
and,
my
and
oldest
now,
son, I mean, my dad made my oldest son and my son's son, Charlie Thomas.
Beautiful.
So,
Can I ask you, Charlie? So I had heard when your dad, I had heard through, you know, all the entertainers and the promoters that your dad retired, and that you took over. Was it during like a mini tour or
Yeah,
some
a
book
mini-
shows?
a mini thing,
and you
yeah.
just kind of you just jumped right
just fell right in place.
in. All right, good.
Yeah,
And
and
we were all happy
everything-
to hear that. We were all happy to hear
Yeah,
that.
I had a few good, majority of reviews were good. I read a few of the reviews and so forth, and they were all wonderful, you know. But what I saw was actually, like, I'm gonna go back to the other drifters thing, you know.
yeah, yeah.
And, you know, people nitpicking and trying to nitpick and so forth. You can't do it like me.
No.
That's right.
I'm just saying. You know,
That's
whoever's listening.
Yeah,
That's
You know,
right.
I'm still here. My dad is still here.
sure,
Exactly.
You know, he's still here. So
sure.
the bottom line is the respect.
So then you finished up whatever was out there to the book
Right,
shows,
right.
and then you guys joined
Right,
forces.
to,
That
you know,
basically
help
how it-
support my dad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to support him.
Right.
And, you know, things happen, you know.
Yeah.
You got something
I'm
other
going to do what
people
I have
don't
to do anyway.
Yeah.
I'm a grown man. You know what I'm saying? So,
Are any of those the guys that I'd met those guys that were that you filled in with that were
Right.
performing with your dad?
Right.
Are they going to be with you? Are they with you guys on any of the new stuff?
I mean, yeah.
Well, right now it's pretty much left up to me.
Yeah.
Right.
But you know, I do have 2 other guys.
Okay.
Is Joe still?
Yeah, Joe
was at our last show.
Yeah, Joe McLam.
Yep. Love you, Joe.
He's still with me, and Baby Ray Moyer. He's still here. So what I had planned on, my intentions was to bring it back to the original way the Drifters, starting from the 5 Crowns.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're going Clyde McFadden
no,
back
no,
that
no,
way.
no, no,
Even
no,
before
no.
that.
See, Clyde McFadden was the beginning.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So when you come up to 58, 59, then you're talking about Charlie Thomas
Okay.
and Benny King
Before they
and
came in as the
Ellsbury
Drifters. I
Hobbs
gotcha.
when they
Right.
got hired
Gotcha.
as the Drifters. So, and then I came along in the 70s.
Right.
Okay.
So
It's amazing.
when I got,
ask him how
that's when they were, that's when they were reformulating Charlie. When they started reformulating, I was there. So they took me, Don Thomas, no relation, but he's like family, and he's still around. You know, he's just not able to come out the way he used to. And then there's me. Ellsbury Hobbs died in '96. We did have a Ellsbury Hobbs Drifters. And as Charlie would always say, no matter what, and I would always say to him, I'm not going to do it. If you're not out there doing it, then I'll come out. You know what I mean? Sure. But as long as he was standing up doing it, I would never come out and say the Drifters.
Right. Sure.
You understand? Never.
Right.
But now, my family, he's down, you know, right now, and the only thing left for me to do was to take his oldest son and come and do the Drifters.
Sounds
And
natural. Sounds like it's a
yeah,
natural.
No, and it's true. And anything that we have to do to support him, we will.
So I want to say something now to Junior, and then we're going to bring on another guest to talk a little bit, and then we're going to talk about the Driftettes as well.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Jim, you're the biggest Drifters fan I know. You can, grab the mic and talk to them.
Well, I'm just listening to Charlie Jr. over there, and he's making, talking
Making
about
you have
different
tears
things.
too?
But man, it's in the genes.
Yeah.
And Dad sent it down to you, and you got to carry the torch.
Sir.
So with you and Terry, you guys got the ball. You got to roll with it.
Yes, sir.
That's just the way it goes. And if people want to hear the real music, tell them to step to the plate and come listen to it.
There it is.
That's right.
I want to say something to you.
God bless.
Okay, so I'll make you giggle a little bit here. So you're making me cry. Okay, and I want to hug you. I'll hug you later. But listen, I'm going to make you giggle a little bit. So I'm on a bunch of different networks, right? And WBNN, My Beverly Nation. And Brother O, the producer, he's an African-American man. And we did something a couple years ago. We do all these fun kind of different things where Battle of the Network Stars kind of thing, right? And they said, white girls can't rap. Okay, it's part of this fun stuff, okay? So I'm a poet, so I wrote a poem.
Are you?
And I wrote a poem, White Girls Can Rap. And I drew a cartoon of me, the whole bit, and I won the competition. So I brought that up because I wanted to ask you something about hip-hop and rap, and then I want to tell you about a young man.
Yes.
This beautiful young man owns a piece of my heart. He goes now by Six Director, or Director Six, something like that, and he's now down south. And he lived in Trenton, New Jersey. And he got in touch with me years ago, and he said, Miss Geri, do you think you can bring me on? I'd like to get my hip-hop and all that out there. So I said, young man, can you keep it clean? Okay? He said, I promise I'll keep it clean. So he brought a few friends. He's African-American as well, and I'm saying that for a reason. So he came into studio with his buddies, right? And they kept, not only did they keep it clean, they were amazing, but they allowed me to ask them something. I said, young man, I don't understand this music. I said, please, I'm not going to judge you, but I would like to know, why do you guys have to use such profanity?
Right.
All this stuff, right?
Right,
Okay.
right.
And this is what he said. He said, Miss Geri, everyone has a story to tell, and everyone needs to be able to tell their story. And he said, and unfortunately for some of us, this is the only story we know. From that moment on, this is what I said to him. I said, I can't listen to it, but now I understand it, and I love you more. So he owns a huge piece of my heart, and he made me get it as why they do it.
Right, but he didn't answer the question, basically, because you say you're a writer. It's a way to write. You can express yourself without the profanity, without
Yes.
the, you understand? But this is where hip-hop is going right now, which basically, if you don't really hear the cars riding by no more with the bass coming out the windows, you don't hear that no more like you used to, So, I mean, it's everything go full circle, and right now it's coming back to the old school, you can bring it back into the house and grandma could hear it. If you remember when the Sugar Hill Gang came out with Rapper's Delight, that was in like almost everybody's house. Grandma was, doing it in everybody.
That's right.
But when the hardcore rap came out, that took a lot away from these guys, but they were too young to understand that granny and auntie and uncle and them ain't listening to that no more.
That's right.
So it took a big chunk away from the product. You understand what I mean? But
Yes.
but most, just like rock and roll, same similarity. Everybody that love rock and roll, they love rock and roll. You have your younger generation that don't even understand rock and roll. I'm out there teaching.
And that's what I wanted to say. You're sitting right next to a young man who is the pioneer of
I
hip
just
hop.
said
That's right.
And so that the question again, when that's why I said that for a reason, because he himself in the Bronx, South Bronx, that's where rap
That's where I
started,
originated at. That's
and
where we all
he's the
originated.
pioneer. So That's why I'm saying, like you just heard with those few words,
Right.
where grandma and this
Right,
one
and-
can
and-
listen. Well, back then,
And it was because of these guys, my dad and these guys, they were always traveling, and I've always wanted to do my thing, following my dad,
Yep.
but I was too young to do rock and roll.
That's right.
So, you know what I mean? When we ran into hip hop, out of disco, we wound up bringing, taking the turntables and so forth to the parks.
Disco fever.
And that was my turn to hold the mic to express myself the way I wanted to express myself. You know what I mean?
How did Dad?
In
Oh,
the
this is a
ghetto.
great question. How did Dad feel about the music you were doing? Right? No, I want to know.
No, but really, he says, "Son, that's not gonna make it."
That's what he said.
And you know how that story goes. But listen, it was, and I respected him for that. You have to, I never turned to him and say, "Dad, rock and roll is
No, right,
garbage."
of
I
course,
always
right,
respected
of course.
rock and
Right.
roll.
But he did.
But the elders back then, a lot of elders, because it was a new wave of things. A lot of people didn't like disco music. A lot of people don't like house music.
How about when Elvis came
forth.
out?
You
Right?
understand?
They said he was the devil. But go ahead, continue.
Yeah. Well, so everybody have their own. But I understood my dad because that's why I'm here, sitting here right now.
That's right.
That's what he really meant. This is what I want you to do.
This is amazing.
But everything take time. You understand?
That's right.
But at that time, I was always active. I really needed something to do. He used to tell me, "You're too fast for this world." You understand? But most of all, I mean, everything fall in place.
I got a funny one. We was in the dressing room one day.
Oh yeah, okay. That was a while ago.
And so Hat was doing something, and I faintly heard what Charlie said. Is it that hey son, that music ain't going.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
But
but he never wanted me and him to hang out anyway. So.
Yeah, he never wanted us to hang out, but hip hop. I write poetry also.
Right.
So this is just from growing in the streets, taught me a lot. Just getting involved with different people, different ideas, and so forth. School never taught me this. I taught myself.
Right.
Poetry.
Yes.
How to write.
That's right.
And how to involve myself with people.
Right.
Because if you remember back in the Bronx back then, the buildings were abandoned. It wasn't.
That's right.
Like basically nothing there. I can remember living in buildings with just one floor having lights on.
That's right.
On one floor, and nobody else living in the building besides like two people on the same floor. But the whole building was abandoned. I mean, this is where we actually come from.
Plugs running from the street
So-
lights to
right,
the
from
building.
the street lights to the building, from the park, the street light.
So
the
that's
plug-
where that's where even doo-wop, like everything they were
Right, the
saying
same-
in these songs.
Exactly.
Right, on the corner with the fire,
Exactly.
the big barrel, and the guys standing around with their heads turning, harmonizing.
Yep. In the hallways.
Right, and hip hop just became something to do at first. That's how it came into play. It's like rock and roll. Like it was something to do. The fellas got together and and it just kept growing and got bigger. It was just a new wave of music.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and now it's here, billion-dollar industry. But Dad said, leave it alone.
I love that. I love that.
And the city of New York, thanks to the city of New York, building housing projects, they created some of the best hallways to sing in.
Yeah,
Acoustics.
The acoustics were
were crazy.
fantastic.
yeah.
And that's how, believe me, they talk about Spectre doing the Hall of Sound. Now, it was already created before him.
Who said Spectre?
Phil Spector.
Phil Spector.
Watch this.
Watch this. Let's do it.
Just to say, he called my dad. Right when I was younger, because I was actually I never knew what being baptized was. So I'm sitting in the kitchen. Dad is eating a bowl of oatmeal. I'm eating a bowl of cereal. We are sitting in front of each other. Phone call, bang. So he's talking, so my dad is like, son, you're going upstairs, but he's talking. So Phil Spector asked my dad, he said, who are you speaking to right now? He said, that's my son. So he said, oh, I never met him, child, you know, whatever, he got him on the thing. He said, yeah, we're talking about being baptized or whatever. Phil Spector came straight out and said, tell him if he get baptized, I give him $1,000. Just like that.
I remember the story.
Right, remember the story I told you? I never saw that $1,000 when I got baptized.
Okay, Phil Spector, that's why. Rest in peace,
No,
but.
he gave it to him.
Oh, he did. I take that back, Phil.
Never got to you.
Gotcha.
But I was younger. You know, I was younger then. I didn't know how to really deal with, you know, and it's just another story.
But you did see it in other ways,
yeah, I
young
seen
man.
it a lot of other ways. Yeah. My dad loved me, but like I said, they were
Right.
always traveling. So in my mind, I never really thought about it, you know, because I knew, you know. But then again, I might not have seen my dad till like next month because they were always.
That's right. Well,
Charlie,
it's
it probably went in
You
the
know,
bank account.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but I'm not. I wasn't one of them. I'm just a story, you know,
That's amazing.
to a lot of people that I've met, either through the phone or on stage. You know, I ran backstage, Diana Ross.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Stop.
Oh, yeah.
Listen,
Oh,
I
yeah.
got stories to tell, you know, hey, little Charlie, leave me alone, stuff like that. I remember these things.
She said that to you?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm not sure exactly how your dad feels, how he's doing right now, health-wise and stuff like that. But I hope that he is able to be aware enough to appreciate you being part of this
Right,
Drifters
right,
world
right,
right now.
right. Yeah,
He does. He
Yeah.
does.
He does.
Good.
He does.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to share something with you about that. My father also passed away 5 years ago from Alzheimer's.
Right.
And same as you with your dad, I wanted to go to art school. I'm an artist. But Italians, what are you, crazy? You need to.
Yeah.
So my dad and my aunt chipped in and got a beauty salon for me to be partners with my aunt. Okay? I didn't want to do that. So I had to get my license for dad. Okay. But he did send me to art school in 1979 in New York, School of Visual Arts, while he was shaking his head and saying, what the hell is wrong with you? But all right, I'll send you. When my father owned a painting company, and my brother still has it. It did everything. Columbia University, it's still there. I mean, he has all the big accounts there, right? Rockefeller Center. He would bring his crew. Whenever I had a new salon or a new thing or a new house, they would have to paint my one house. They had to paint the outside of it, hot pink, purple, and turquoise. My poor father used to have to bring these guys for 3 days, 4 days in a row because all the different colors and right, and have to pay them extra. He did it for me. But he used to say this to me, I hate these colors. Why can't everything just be like off-white? I hate these colors. Here's where I'm going with this. When my father first got Alzheimer's, I brought him to my new home. And in my home, my brother's crew came, and they did all different yellows for me, okay? I bring my dad there. He didn't know I was his daughter. It was in the beginning stages, but he knew I was someone important to him. He walked into my home, and the first thing he said to me was, this is beautiful. I love your colors. Are you an interior decorator? I started crying.
Right.
This is what that meant. That meant he always loved who I really was and my colors.
Right.
But they couldn't say that. So
Right.
your father,
Same thing.
that's right. Your father was so proud when you took the route you took. He didn't understand it, and he could never say to you, that's really cool, I want you to do that. But deep down, trust me,
I knew
that's
he
what he
meant it.
felt.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
That's what he felt.
Oh, yeah, he did. He
Yep,
did.
I lived it, and that's beautiful. So your father is smiling and thinking inside. This is what he's also probably thinking. I wish I was that bold. I wish I could have done that. Okay? So remember that.
And you know, and to what you just said, and to form, and the way everything is going, the time has come because now the uncle has Charlie's son.
Yeah.
And we are now together. And everything that we do now, even with the new album that we're getting ready to do, it's dedicated to his dad. You know? And he and I have sat and talked many a night. you know, what we're about to do. He came to me with, let's do this, and I said, okay, we did this. We went in one night, we just laid the hook, and now he's finished with writing the lyrics right now, but we got to go back in and finish that. And we're just taking everything with love and the love of his dad, because trust me, even without Charlie, I wouldn't be where I am.
Amen. Amen.
Charlie grabbed me in 1977, said, "You're a drifter."
So Terry,
That's how he was.
let's take a deep breath now. We're going to bring on someone else we have here, another singer, for a few minutes. We'll give you the spotlight for 10 minutes. Barry, Jason, come to the mic, and then we're going to talk about the Driftettes as well.
Okay.
We can't forget that. Everyone, Barry, Jason, baby. All right.
All right.
Thank you. I don't know if this is on. It doesn't appear to be on.
Oh, there it is. I think.
Yeah,
there-
it's
there
okay.
it is.
Now it's on. I can hear myself.
So,
Okay.
What I would like from you is to tell everyone, you'll have the mic for like 10 minutes, tell everyone about you, who you are, but then you're going to honor us with something, aren't you? A cappella?
I guess I have no choice.
That's right.
Yes.
No pressure, no pressure.
You know, regardless of the gig last
Okay?
night, what the heck.
The mic is yours, Bar.
Okay, listen, it's a treat, it's an honor for me to be here amongst you. And many of you, you know, Jimmy and Terry and Tony and Charlie, you know, I've met you now for the first time. Right. So this is all a special treat for me. To summarize my backdrop, I guess, I've been playing music, well, since I was a kid. You know, your mother puts you on the piano when you're 5 years old, whatever. And by the time you're 16, you're in rock and roll bands. My path was much different than I think a lot of you guys. Everything was very self-contained when the British invasion happened in 1964. And bands came out by the dozens, and that's when Ed Sullivan was just putting on band after band from, you know, not only did you have all of these magnanimous, numerous British bands, but then you also had this American invasion happening, you know, with so many great American groups on at the same time. It was almost like this competing thing. And that's when thousands of guys across the country decided, okay, this is what we want to be doing. They picked up an instrument that suited them. And that's when all bands really started. And you could go back to a lot of the rock stars of today, and they'll always hark back to those British invasion days. And I guess I'm an example of it. At 16 years old, I picked up my Vox Jaguar organ because that's what Mike Smith was playing in the Dave Clark 5. And it was a very popular instrument. And it looked cool because it was just a cool instrument. And then from there, I think I sprouted early on in my early 20s as far as being a solo piano guy. I sort of left all the bands when I was about 20, 21. And I've been doing solo piano gigs and playing and singing all that time. And then I got into starting my own wedding band business, having vendors and showcasing different wedding bands and DJs. And that was the name of my business, Barry Jason Orchestras. And I ran that up in North Jersey for about 15, 18 years. This new venue that I'm on, which is sort of, I've still always played piano and sang in different restaurant lounges, whatever it might be. But I've sort of, I guess, revamped myself a little bit in the past 3-4 years doing the solo crooning along with the live piano playing. So that's what distinguishes me a little bit different from the regular guys doing the crooning. So after I'm doing a couple of Sinatra or Dean Martin songs or whatever it is, then I'll just step aside and I'll play some stuff on the piano live and sing with the piano. So that's what I'm currently doing. And once again, I'm very honored and very glad that I'm here with you guys today.
Well, thank you, Barry.
It's an honor back at you,
Thank
Barry.
you, man. You're gonna do something for us. Come on, let's go. Yes.
Okay, just a couple of bars. Am I doing just a couple of bars?
Go ahead.
I should have been a little bit more prepared for this. But let me see. Let me go to something.
Do Mathers.
Hold on. How about you're giving me the same old time. I wonder why. You hurt me then. You're back again. No, 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 not a second time. Well, and then I could segue into another off-the-cuff Beatles song, which is off the Help LP, tuned by George Harrison. You don't realize how much I need you. Love you all the time and never leave you. So come on back to me. I'm lonely as can be. I need you. Okay.
That was cool.
You know?
That was cool. Thanks, Barry.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barry.
Thank you,
my
guys.
God. Barry Jason, everybody. Thank you, baby.
Thank you.
Very nice.
So now what we're going to do is this. We're going to talk about the Driftettes. Oh, wait, Barry, tell everybody where you're going to be performing.
Oh, yeah, okay. This coming Friday, I have my own show at Garvey's in Monroe. That'll be a 7 o'clock start. You have to call for reservations, obviously. And then the very next day, I'll be still in Monroe at Antonio's restaurant. And that'll be a 6 o'clock start, I believe.
How can they check you out, though? Give them information. You have a website? Or
Yeah, basically,
Facebook?
the website is being revamped right now. You can follow me on Instagram at Barry Jason Music, or the best way to do it for most people is just to friend me on Facebook. Barry Jason, Jason. It's pretty easy. Once you friend me, then you're sort of in the loop and you can see all of my posts and things like that.
Cool.
Okay?
Thanks, Barry.
Yeah, definitely.
Garvey's is a nice
Thank you
place.
so much.
That was awesome, man.
Garvey's is a nice place. Go see Barry there at Garvey's. We sang there and
Antonio's I love, too.
yeah.
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 Great. Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
Barry. So, Jim, before we talk about the Driftettes, I want you to talk now about what's happening with Lead East, because I met you last year at Lead East, and I've said this to you, and I'm going to say it live, okay? This guy is really cool, guys, okay? He let me run around like a chicken without a head, like a nut job with my camera, doing my lives. Listen, he let me go into, before they were even dressed, okay, their rehearsals. He's amazing. So I really want to let you tell them everything and anything it is you want to tell them about Lead East and what you're doing with it, please.
Well, let's go back to when we first met. The first thing you have to understand about music is a network, okay? So if we're not all on the same page or we're not connected somehow, all right, it's not happening, all right? So that's why we're all here today, all right? We're still putting our network together. Lead East, we're trying to get it back on track. We had a hell of a year last year because of the pandemic, and then we had the hurricane, and it took its toll. It beat a lot of people up. People were afraid to come. The water situation, I mean, even by my own house, I got devastated over there with the storm. But, we had to get the Lead East, and we had to make the show happen. This year, there's 3 nights of spectacular music. I'll touch base on a few of the groups that'll be there. Friday night it's The Variation. Saturday night it's Mike D'Amore.
Michael D'Amore, give him a huge shout out. Are you kidding me, baby? Come on. Listen, Michael D'Amore, I'm going to say it. He hates when I say this, but I don't care. So, music is a must for you to keep your joy, especially if it's Elvis, baby, because Elvis is my boy, right? And the Drifters, of course. But I've always said this. His solo voice, he is ridiculous. And I've said this to him. Here's Elvis to me, and here's Michael. He's off the charts. So if anybody out there hasn't heard or heard him sing or heard of him, Michael D'Amore, you got to check him out. Continue, Jim.
Okay, so Mike will be there Saturday, Friday night. Well, actually, Mike will be there all weekend because not only is Mike the lead singer for the Capris, he also sings with my group, Memories. So he will sing with us Sunday night. We open the show. But let's go back to Saturday night. Saturday night, the headliners is Larry Chance and the Earls. And we'll go back to where I was just talking about with Memories. It's going to be Memories. It's going to be Stan Zizka's Del Satins. It'll be Cleve Still and the Dubs. And then it'll be the Brooklyn Bridge. Amazing. So we have dynamic music for the entire weekend. So if people are looking for doo-wops, as I promised last year, I was going to bring the music and get it going back into Let East. So yes, we're going to have a doo-wop revival. We're going to do things that have never done before in Let East. Okay, Saturday afternoon, there will be an a cappella show. Sunday afternoon, your next guest coming into the show is my music director, Hal Kashner.
Heck yeah, baby.
Okay, and we're going to do an old-fashioned street corner harmony jam session. So if there's any musician that's on the grounds of Let East that wants to come in and partake and jam with us, they're welcome to come in because we're going to put it down and we're going to have a grand old time. And what made me think about this thing when Hal and I brainstormed this, I kept thinking about Blues Brothers 2000. Now, if you remember that movie, it was a contest between two groups. And at the end, they asked them to jam, and they all put it down. And that movie had some of the greatest musicians ever out there. And that's where we came up with it, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to rock that joint.
What about the cars?
Oh, there's about 1,500 cars up there. I mean, there's loads and loads of cars. The last report I had was mostly all of the car spaces are sold out. The hotel rooms are...
I got mine, baby.
Okay, well, you got a little juice. But there's a spectacular deal going on with the rooms. 4 nights for $169 a night. It's a great hang. I mean, up until a couple of years ago, 2017 was the first year that Terry Cook hired Memories to play there. We did the dance party. So we went up there, we played, and we rocked the place. Cool. All right, we had everybody dancing or doing their thing. So it goes on a hiatus. Terry sells the place. So I meet Mr. Wolf.
Yes, Fred Wolf. I interviewed him.
And I gave him a press kit. And we're talking. And as the conversation went on and everything, we're going back and forth, we were having a meeting one day. And when we had the meeting, he asked me to be the music director. So I'm sitting in my attorney's office. I got a whole bunch of people there. And they give me that offer. So went my vacation, because I used to go up there specifically to have a cold beer, smoke a cigar, smell those fantastic gas fumes, okay, and listen to my doo-wops. So now I go from vacation to work. And as you saw last year, I had my hands full.
You did.
But we
did.
We made it happen.
Yes.
And, you know, we dodged all of the bullets that were thrown at us and the curveball, because we still made the show go on.
Amazing.
And I have to pay homage and respect to the deceased member from the Tokens, Billy Reed. We worked that show together. We talked. We had a good time. Very sorry for his loss. I called Jay and offered my condolences to him and the Reed family, because it was a tragic loss. Yes. So, yeah, we're moving ahead this year. We're going to do what we have to do. And Let East is going to go on. And hopefully everybody's going to be out there and they're going to be partying their backsides off.
Yay for Let East. Woo, baby.
Just a quick shameless plug. Doo-Wop Radio has a booth there. You'll see me there, and feel free to bring any yourself and any of your acts over. And we'll throw them on the mic.
I'm setting up. Last year, it was the term I'm going to use, it was my first year, okay? So I got christened quickly. I got christened quickly to things that I didn't know about. I didn't know that there was radio stations broadcasting live out there.
We know that.
The only one I knew that was broadcasting live was the one that we had paid for.
We know that too.
And
Yeah.
if I
That's a
had,
story for another day on my end.
yeah, well, if I had been privy to that, when I brought the symphonics out to sing in the hallway, I would have had you all mic'd up so you could heard it all.
Yeah.
But, you know,
pleased.
again, it's a network. If they're going to have a booth up there, I'm going to change the logistics up there this year because I'm going to make it more sequential so everybody is not going to have anybody else in their way.
Oh, beautiful.
Everybody's going to have their own section.
Beautiful.
Presentation is everything. If you don't present a good product, you have nothing because nobody's going to pay attention to you.
Right.
So logistically speaking, I've already had a meeting with Mr. Wolf about it, and I told him what I wanted to do for next year. It's the same thing where they've always had the ticket booth for the shows by the revolving door in the back. That's changed up. As soon as you walk in the front door of Let East this year, the ticket booth for the
Good.
shows is going to be right there.
Good.
So logistically, we have to make things happen so people see what's going on. Now, there's another thing that was a big mistake. People were calling the Hilton asking for rooms for Let East. And the Hilton people were telling them, we're booked. Well, yeah, you're booked because Let East has the hotel entirely booked. So you have to get your room through Let East.
Right.
Because they control those logistics also. But if they really want to be there and they dig in hard enough, it's just a matter of them being given the right information because with the pandemic, they laid the lady off that took care of that. So they were just farming out the phone calls. So whoever the receptionist is was getting the phone calls wasn't briefed on the way it was supposed to be.
Okay.
So again, logistically, it's got to be sent out so everybody knows and everybody's on the same page.
Okay.
You know, there's got to be a screenplay, you know,
Beautiful.
and this way they'll know what's going on. And as far as what I'm doing, everybody will know what I'm doing. And I still want to be the guy that's under the covers. I really don't want people to know who I am, okay? But we're just going to make it happen.
That's going to be a little hard now.
Yeah, well,
Well, hopefully these great revisions you're talking about will be on the website too, so to
Yeah.
make it people can find what's going on.
well, see, you got the first interview of me on that camera.
That's right. The other one was on the phone.
Yeah. So, you know, when I did that last year, I had this little lady. She was cute. She kept saying to me, because I was standing by the sound guy, she says, "You're somebody important." I said, "No, I'm not. I'm just, you know, a gopher around here." And I keep going back and forth. She says, "You're really somebody important around here." So I said to her, "No, I'm not." At the end of the night, when Jay Siegel's going to sing The Lion, I went to the back of the room, grabbed a chair, and dragged it up and sat in the aisle so that I wasn't in anybody's way. But I wanted to get the filming of it. When Jay gets done singing, he introduces me and
There you
thanks me
go.
for making it happen. Well, he kind of like blew my cover, you know? So I went back over to the side by the sound guy. She says, "I told you you were somebody."
That's
important."
great,
I said,
Jim.
"No, I'm really not."
That's great, Jim. Thank you, my
story.
love. That was amazing. So Tony Dean, Jim Durkin, Tony Dean, baby. Now we're going to get this right.
Got it right.
Thank you,
Listen,
Jim.
this way we know who the players are.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
Thank you, Jim. So, what I would love for you guys to do now is, I don't know if this was in your plan. Were you going to sing something silly, even two? I don't care if it's two
Silly.
lines of anything. Come on. You want to give us something? Before we talk about the.
Come on, man, up on the roof. Let's do it.
Come on, baby.
Hey, I got an idea.
All right.
Let's, and you know what?
What?
Hap, let's give them what we started working on the other night. What,
Exclusive.
when we were in the studio. Midnight. You do it with me?
Stand by me.
Yeah.
Little Geri Petito
Just-
exclusive.
Please.
Just the first two lines. That's all.
Oh,
Or three. All right, go
Ready?
ahead.
yeah.
When the night has come and the land is dark, and the moon is the only light we'll see. That's it. That's all you got.
Wait, come on.
I won't.
Boom, 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 boom.
One more time. Here we go.
Boom, boom,
When the night
boom,
has come
boom, 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 boom,
and the land is dark,
boom,
and the moon
boom,
is the only
boom,
light we'll see.
boom, 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 boom,
No, I won't
boom, boom,
be afraid. No, I won't
boom,
be afraid.
boom,
Not as long
boom,
as you stand by me.
boom.
So Charlie, stand by me. Oh,
I love
stand.
it. I love it.
Okay, guys,
Yeah,
did you just hear that? The Drifters. Listen carefully. Terry King, one of the original Drifters. This is Charlie Jr. Did you hear what I said?
Yes,
That's
sir.
right. Charlie Thomas Jr. Did you hear what I said? Right here.
There is
Geri
a
Petito show.
rose in Spanish Harlem. A red rose up in Spanish Harlem. It is a special one. It's never seen the sun. It only come out when the moon is on the run and all the stars are gleaming. Thank you.
Go on, Charlie Jr.
My gosh, Hamilton Radio, right here, baby. All right, Hamilton Radio, right, guys. All right, you talk, please.
Are we wrapping up? Where are we at?
No, talk and say something to them. I gotta catch my breath here, okay?
Can I put you on the spot again?
Yeah.
Sweets for my sweet.
Yeah.
Sweets for my sweets?
Little sweets for my sweet. A little bit.
Well, that's Dad.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
all
that's
right.
Dad.
That's
yeah,
all right.
That's your dad.
That's it.
Okay.
That's his song.
Yeah.
It was.
But he sung it all his life.
Sweet for my sweet, sugar for my honey. Never, never let you go. Sweets for my sweets, sugar for my honey. I never ever let you go.
Why, I mean, why did you choose that song? I
I
want to
know,
ask
right?
you.
How about
Just because I know it's a big.
Because, yeah,
Well,
yeah,
it
definitely.
And and I talked to him at one of the shows
Wonderful.
about
If
that.
you want it, yeah, I don't want. Yeah, I'm trying to hold back, man. That's the boss, man.
But I had talked to him about that song,
Right.
and he had mentioned, that they had Betty Everett and Doris Troy and all these
Yes.
great would-be later
Right.
later great female singers on the back of that.
Well, you see,
Sing
and
background on
that's a good segue in
Yeah.
about the Driftettes.
There we go.
Okay. Amazing.
But
I am so honored right now.
You're
I can't even
ducking
tell
this
you.
one.
You're taking my breath away.
don't go,
Please stay,
don't go.
please stay.
As I fell on my knees and I pleaded to you not to go but to stay in my arms, would you walk out the door like you did once before? But this time be different. Would you stay?
Give me that bass.
Don't go.
There you go.
Okay. I don't care. I have to hug you, baby. I have to hug you, baby. He just said Are you kidding me?
What did I tell you?
Listen, Charlie Thomas Jr. Do you understand that? Do you guys understand that? Charlie Thomas's son. Okay, right here on the Geri Petitos Show on Hamilton Radio.
Thanks for your love.
Please, thanks for your love. Oh my gosh, Terry King.
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
You guys, listen. All right, talk.
And see, even when you mentioned Betty Everett and Charlie, and let me tell you something. So, in my mind, years ago, I always had this thing that there was going to be, you know, you had the Sweet Inspiration. There was never any Driftettes. I own the rights to that.
Oh, very nice.
So there is a Driftettes now. And those Driftettes are two of my granddaughters and one niece. And maybe my daughter, my youngest daughter. So, so Natima is, she sings quite a bit. And then who the Driftettes are now, Joylena. We also have Susie. And not only Susie, we now have a multitude of the young ladies that are in my Driftette situation. So sometimes I set up 3 of them or 4 of them, and they become the Driftettes. So my first show this year, I introduced the Driftettes. And my granddaughter Susie came out, and Joylena came on the
That's right,
on your
baby.
last show
And sang.
and sang. And so anytime we get, depends on how we get booked. You know, sometimes they request because they've never seen the Driftettes or never heard. That's why I'm working on another album, so that they'll be featured on that album, so people will get to know who the Driftettes are with the Drifters. So, so the whole idea of having him, Charlie Jr., be a part of Terry King's Drifters Review or Terry King's Drifters and Driftettes, however you choose to put it up on the billboard, it always has to be Terry King in front. Because if I said the Drifters, I'd get in a whole lot of trouble.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, we all know that story.
So,
yeah.
so we know that story.
Yeah.
So, but you cannot say that I'm not a drifter. You can't say that's not Charlie's son.
That's right.
So it's, I mean, I've done 4 albums with Charlie. And one of our, I think one of the biggest albums we had was our live album that we did live at the Bottom Line in the Village. And so, like to say, okay, so yes, I am a drifter. In fact, I had to Google myself to make sure it was me. So
That's great.
and with all jokes aside, I'm telling you, when I first Googled, it was a couple of years ago, and I saw this, it came up, I said, the Drifters, but then it came up, the Drifters 2019. So when I looked, I saw my name. Charlie's name wasn't even on there.
Really?
I was like, whoa. So they had my name there, and my name keeps popping up, That's because I'm pretty active. But for Charlie Jr.'s dad to be down and out right now, and people talk to me and they says, is he coming back? And the only way I reply now is, the last time he told me, and I say this, don't count him out, because you never know.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You never know. He may come back, you know, and say, hey, I'm ready to go to work.
Okay.
Can't keep a good man down.
Exactly. You know, and I mean, Charlie's, you know, he's a sweetheart, I'm telling you. And, you know, what we do as singers on stage, and then what we do as family is another, you know. But I'm here to tell you, you know, we are going to keep the Drifters alive. We're going to keep that legacy alive.
Very good.
We're going to
Yes, sir.
We're going to keep his father's name alive. And how did we do that? Because I have Charlie Thomas Jr.
Amazing.
So we're going to keep his dad's name
Amen.
alive. And anything that we have to do, you know, to help his father in any way, whether it's financially or any other way, you know, I always said to even Charlie Jr., you know, each show we do, we take a piece of it and put it aside for him.
Amazing.
You know, he may not be up on the stage, but that's what we intend to do.
Let's let him know we got planned down the road.
Here you go.
Oh yeah, we do. We October October 22nd. My youngest daughter's birthday, by the way. We plan on doing the show for memories, right?
We're going to hook it together. It's going to be my favorite group, the Drifters, and Memories together. We're going to piggyback it together and do a Halloween sock
Come
hop.
on.
Nice.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Very nice.
You know, we got to, you know, because of the way times are right now and everything like that, the way I've kind of built this thing in my mind, it's not going to be a heavy lift for the people that are coming. But the other side of the coin is we're going to get them out of their house so they can hear the real music.
Right.
Yeah, hopefully we could do that because.
Stay tuned.
Oh yeah.
Stay
Oh,
tuned.
yeah.
Watch the Memories website.
Yeah.
Watch Terry's. I'm quite sure Jerry's going to take care of it too.
Featuring Charlie, Happy, Thomas Jr. Yes, we
Amazing.
are. That's what we're doing.
Well, what I would like to say is we're coming to the close of the shows, guys, but we have a few minutes, and you're not off the hook. I'm going to let you sing a little in there as well if you want. Okay? But before we do that, I want to say my personal thank yous, first of all, to everyone that's come out here. Thank you, guys. I want to say my personal thank yous to you guys, Jim. I mean, listen, this guy right here for taking over the show today.
Thank you for having me.
I love you, baby.
Love you too. Thank you for having me. I
Tony
appreciate it.
Dean, he
Thank you.
rocks. He rocks.
Thank you.
Guys, what more can I say? Terry King from the original Drifters, Terry King's nephew, okay? Charlie Thomas Jr.
The original Charlie Thomas Jr.
The original, baby.
It's the real deal.
We are so honored here at the Geri Petitos Show, Hamilton Radio.
Yes.
Before I give the mic to this guy right here, because I want him to sing a little for us, there is something I want to do. I want to read a poem out of my book, and there's a reason why. Because everyone here has utilized all their gifts and talents, and that's what life is about, and that's what this poem is, and I think it's appropriate. So, it's called Utilizing Gifts and Talents. We are born with talents, we are born with drive, with different gifts to help us thrive. I knew early on I was born to draw and paint, to also write poetry, and to talk without restraint. Our gifts and talents should all be used. God's gift to us, not be abused. We can go far in life for sure using our gifts to go on tour, like these guys, right? All our talents should be used to create ourselves and more, then our jobs to share them to even up the score. You see, in life, what's needed is not just for ourselves. Once our gifts are mastered, take them off the shelves. A living we can make by spreading them around, not just for the money, but to spread a peaceful sound. Don't take for granted the gifts you're given. Go out and spread the joy. Our gifts are not to be held back for us to self-destroy. Put your efforts forth. Do not hesitate. All your talents, my friend, are never second-rate. Never hold them back or you will surely die. Maybe not in body, but your soul will cry. Our gifts were made to share. Our talents made to soar. Go through life enlightened, and then you can roar. Be proud of who you are and be happy you're alive. Once again, my friend, your gifts will help you thrive. By putting efforts forth and not keeping them at bay, your name will live forever, forever and a day. You hear me? Charlie Thomas.
Yes, ma'am.
Your name will live forever, forever and a day.
Yes, ma'am.
You hear me, Terry King?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Go through life excited for what you sure can give to yourself and others is our reason to live. Our grave will be quite lonely, but our legacy lives on. Make sure people smile with the breaking dawn. And that is what you guys, what the Drifters have done for us. Right? That is what the Drifters have done for us.
Thank you so much.
Okay, beautiful.
Thank you.
All right, you know what? I want to say thank you again to all of you, especially you two, and there's a reason why. Because not only did I love the Drifters, I mean your father, right? I don't want to tear up here, but you are keeping his legacy alive, both of you, and look at you, Terry King, one of the originals, right? And now this is your nephew.
Yes.
I mean, this is unbelievable, and I want to thank you for honoring us here at Hamilton Radio. So thank you, okay? The Drifters, right here, guys.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Now, we're going to let this silly guy do something here at the mic,
I'm not
okay?
getting off the hook.
Come on, you're not off the hook. You know you want to. Daddy Dean, you know he wants to, right? I love you, Daddy Dean. Listen, listen, I was born too late. You'd be calling me mommy. All right? So let's go.
All right. A little bit of Ricky Nelson.
Okay.
I used to play around with hearts that hastened at my call. When I met that little girl, I knew that I would fall, poor little fool. Oh yeah, I was a fool. Uh-huh.
Thank you, Tony. Tony Dean, everybody. So I'm going to let all of you take a couple minutes each, 2 minutes each, some closing words. Go ahead. We'll start with you, Jim.
Labor Day weekend, Lead East, Parsippany Hilton, 908-876-9100. Call up, make your reservations, get your rooms through the Lead East office. Come out and party and listen to the music and have a spectacular weekend.
Yes. Terry King.
Well, all I can say is it's been a blast, and be looking out for Terry King's Drifters Review featuring Charlie Thomas Jr. And I want to say it again. Terry King's Drifters Review featuring Charlie Happy Thomas Jr. Make sure to look out for us. We love you. We want to show you that the Drifters are still alive and kicking, to let you know that Charlie Thomas Sr. is still here with us. He hasn't gone anywhere. He's still here. We love him, and we're going to always love him. And I want you people to realize that we are coming out. We are going to do what is made for us to do. We're here. Thank you so much.
Last words, young man.
I mean, it's really no words. I mean, it is what it is. I'm very happy to be here, definitely.
Yeah.
And to give the people a little information, Charles Thomas, 52134@gmail.com. I'm on Facebook, Happy Original Pioneer on Facebook, and the same on Instagram, Happy Original Pioneer on Instagram. Really, I'm feeling a certain kind of way, the memories, with my dad and so forth. So that's,
I know.
Because it's brand new.
I know.
But most of all, I love being here, and thanks for inviting me to the family. And I'm not going anywhere.
Yes!
Amen.
Yes! Okay. So this guy, final last words, man. You're
Thank
no
you
stranger
again.
to the mic,
Thank
baby.
you again, my baby Geri Petito, for having me. Thank you, Hamilton Radio. And what an amazing panel here. Jim, I have utmost respect for you for what you're doing up at Lead East, and I'm looking forward to being there with you again next year. And you guys, what can I say? Like I said, your dad's already family. I met you guys. You're now family too.
Yes, sir.
To me. So thank you very much.
Thank
I'm
you so
humble.
much.
Thank you.
Ruben, take it away, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, Geri Petito.
I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do.
Just what to do, just what to do.
If what you're feeling is really true.
It's really true, is it really true?
Just keep your ideas safe and sound.
Safe and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is found, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.